Hello, hello, my people. Bienvenido de vuelta. Se supone que los videos iban a ser todos en español, pero el de hoy lo voy a hacer en inglés porque es nuevamente el gobierno de los Estados Unidos tratando de meter la cuchara donde no le toca, pasando un bill que se llama el Fashion Act, que es otro nivel de control en la industria. Yo sé que hay mucha gente que dice, ay, a mí no me importa, a mí no me afecta todo, por ejemplo, esto. Pero lamentablemente, cada legislación, cada ley, cada bill que el gobierno lanza y en cada industria, en cada aspecto de nuestras vidas donde el gobierno se quiere meter, nos afecta a absolutamente todos. Yo tengo que hacer esto en inglés para ver si la gente, pongo que la gente piense un poquito más y reaccione sobre este video y hagamos todos algo para cuestionar esto, porque como siempre todo está empujado por las mismas personas en los mismos tipos de medios de comunicación. So let's now switch to English. It's gonna be about this bill that the government is trying to pass called the Fashion Act, which is once again the government interfering in people's life and trying to overreach. I understand. I am not personally, I am not I understand that we need, if we can create better ways to produce, to manufacture, and to consume products and services, I'm totally in with that. But from there to pretend that every single human being be interested or being obligated to follow this I don't even know how to call it, to follow this this path is absolutely insane. We have been seeing the fashion industry shifting towards more sustainable and more creative and better ways, like in finding better ways to manufacture, to sell, to be more ethical about what they do. And that was without the government passing laws or trying to create, trying to subjugate all the brands to follow one path. To me, that's just insanity. Like, not everybody's into this. Not everybody can afford this. Not everybody can do this. And it's okay. It is up to us. I mean, I agree that people give brands, we have options out there. It's up to us to choose which brand we want to consume, which brand does better, which doesn't, which we can afford, which we cannot afford. But I haven't seen one thing when the government is interferes that is positive or the outcome is good. There's like an agenda being pushed on every single aspect. If you put Fashion Act on Google, you're gonna see most of these articles having the same headlines and saying pretty much the same thing. It's like one person is writing everything and pushing and speaking for all of us. And that to me is not democracy. Like, where is everybody else? Who is telling you the other side of these the consequences that all this interference brings? For example, in LA, they passed. I'm gonna read you a bunch of laws that we don't know what was the negative impact. Like, as more laws and more the government get involved, the worse everything is going. Like, manufacturing is becoming impossible to do in the US because of the expenses. Because they want to make everything, like, they want to interfere from the minimum wage to now how I'm gonna be producing I'm gonna get punished by paying 2% of my profits to the government if I don't follow through. What is this? Same thing with fur. Nobody's speaking about, except for the video that I previously record, of the consequences of the people being affected by all these regulations towards a production that is already like super regulated. but people canceling or people shaming you for using fur is just really getting old and tone deaf. Let me read you this bill. I'm gonna read you the overview that they posted they wrote on articles, but I'm also going to read you some of the points on the bill, which is not very much into controlling the sustainable part. It's more about controlling the profits and the incomes of the companies. It's pretty much all that, and I'm gonna leave you the link so you can take a look at it. And I think this is something that we should definitely oppose. Okay, this is the bill. This is on the NewYorkSenate.gov page. Let me read you the section 1 and 2, A and B, so you can see how this is not exactly about sustainability. It is the people of the state of New York represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1, short title, this bill shall be known and may be cited as the Fashion Sustainability and Social Accountability Act. 2. The General Business Law is amended by adding a new section 399 MM to read as follows. 399 MM, Fashion Sustainability and Social Accountability Act. 1. As used in this section, the following terms shall have the following meanings. Doing business in this state shall mean actively engaging in any transaction for the purpose of financial and pecuniary gain or profit. B. Gross receipts shall mean the gross amount realized, otherwise known as the sum of money, and the fair market value of other property or service received on the sale of exchange of property, the performance of services, or the use of property or capital, including rents, royalties, interest, and dividends, in a transaction that produces business income in which the income gain or loss is recognized, or will be recognized in the transaction where in the United States under the Internal Revenue Code as applicable for purposes of this section. Amounts realized on the sale or exchange of property shall not be reduced by the cost of goods sold or the basis or property sold. Gross receipts, even if business income, shall not include the following items. Now you tell me, how is this about sustainability? 88352, repayment, maturity, or redemption of the principal of a loan, bond, mutual fund, certificate or deposit, or similar marketable instrument. 2. The principal amount received under a repurchase agreement or other transaction properly characterized as a loan. 3. Proceeds from issuance of the taxpayer own stocks or from sale of treasury stock. 4. Damages or other amounts received as the result of litigation. 5. Property acquired by an agent or on behalf of another. 6. Tax refunds or tax benefit recoveries. 7. Pension reversions. 8. Contribution to capital except for sales of securities by securities dealer. 9. Income from discharge or indebtedness. And on and on and on. Like, this is pretty long. I'm gonna leave you the link over there so you can read it and you can see how little it says about sustainability. It's pretty much controlling the earnings and everything that a company does. Like, there's not enough of that already. They want to control more and make you pay punish you for 2% of your revenues if you don't comply with whatever it is that they want to do, that the people is already doing without having them making it a law because of their own initiative, of their own educating people. To me, education is the key to everything. Creating conscious is the key to everything. Making things affordable is the key to everything. Not going on reverse, not imposing, not making people do anything. During the press, this was from the High Snobity. During a press conference announcing the Fashion Act, Maxine Bedat, head of fashion sustainability nonprofit New Standard Institute, a supporter of the bill, stressed the importance of legislation in reforming the industry. Individuals are often told to do their part in mitigating the climate crisis via practices such as recycling and buying from local businesses, but it's important to remember that sweeping legislative reform is the only viable path towards meaningful change. Let's face it, swapping your plastic straw for a metal one doesn't really do anything in the grand scheme of things. What does she want? I mean, I was looking for information about this person. I didn't find too much besides their page, but I did find a podcast. Martin Bedard of the New Standard Institute setting new standards for sustainability in the fashion industry podcast interview. EP 248. This was the subject. The cotton industry and clothing was a driver for both imperialism and slavery. With the clothing we wear and the fashion industry, we have to recognize the very roots of it are colonialism and slavery. It was proven already that people with this kind of thoughts are dangerous in society. It's over. Just talking about imperialism and like, why is people talking about these things? It's over. It was gone. And besides the negative part, this industry created jobs until now. And this is the person on top, like pushing all this, along with Stella McCartney, pushing all this, trying to get the government involved in this too, unnecessarily. We need to make a decision here. This is I see it from this point of view. We either want people to be more conscious and to buy more sustainable, or we want the government to create more regulations and make everything more expensive for everybody, so nobody can afford and buy these items. We need to like these activists of all these sustainable activists are in this dichotomy that doesn't go. We need to align ourselves with us. Like, we need to be like, you want me to do this, you need to make it easier for me and more affordable and easier to me to get it. Not to make it more difficult. Not to make it more difficult to manufacture here in the US. Not to make it more difficult to manufacture in Italy, or in France or anywhere. We need to make up our minds, because we cannot be running around in these different directions towards I don't know where. And we really need to get involved and question all this, because it's the same circle. There's no more, like, there's no questioning, there's no asking, there's only canceling. And I'm pretty sure people in the industry want to talk about this, but now, because of the cancel culture, if you say something, then you're attacked at somebody who doesn't care about the environment. Yeah, that doesn't mean, like, me not agreeing with the government overreach or with everything, making people do stuff. It doesn't mean that I don't care about the environment. That's not what it means. I'm entitled to say no to the government, to these laws. I'm entitled to make to have an opinion, just like everybody else is, and we're entitled to question all this, to ask for receipts. How are all these laws and all this legislation making a negative impact in industries or everywhere? We need to ask. Otherwise, I don't know, like, where we're heading, but it's not into a good, the path is not good. If we keep getting, like, the government put whatever they put their hand, everything goes wrong. And it's never towards the people and to help us. It's in the other direction. I already signed not to agree with this, but we should be able to question and to hear every part of the two bells of what these laws and this law and this bill are gonna make an impact into everything. Because what I read from the law is pretty much about controlling the finances of the companies, not even so much about sustainability. So we need to understand where they're heading with that. So this is all for today, guys. Chicos, nos vemos en la próxima. A la próxima veré en español, pero esta tenía que ser en inglés. Goodbye.